Welcome back to Make It Mental, everybody. Here's a little commentary about how I got to where I am with this particular truck. This truck was never pre-planned to be this way. I did order this truck intentionally to modify, but my original plan was to turn it into a 6x6 with 2 motors and 2 battery packs, right? I was going to turn it into a 6x6, but I was going to make it a fast 6x6, not a crawler as you see it here. For those of you who have not been following me, this is a hand-laid fiberglass body. It is quite heavy. The windows are just basically painted in. I probably should have took the time to paint in some hood lines like I did the door lines, but I should have did it in like a silver, something that was less noticeable, something less cartoonish. Brighten up, come on, brighten up, something. It just, something, there we go, that's a little better color, I guess. Not quite right, but it's a better color. I thought in the beginning, when I was handling this fiberglass body, it was originally made out of foam board, that I was going to lose it, right? Despite me sealing all the edges, all the seams on foam board, those of you who worked a foam board know what I'm talking about, but I sealed them all like this running board and slash fender area with hot glue. Then I painted the entire body with a water-based color. The resin mix for the fiberglass resin melted most of the styrofoam. I lost most of the bed. I lost most of the fenders. The only parts that were good were the hood and the cab area. I had to do some major repairs, and in all honesty, I thought I was going to have to throw this truck away, or the body away, and just start all over again from fresh. I can't get over how yellow this looks. The accuracy of the color is just not correct. It's just bothering me. And then through trial and effort, I was able to save this body, and I'm quite pleased with it as it sits today. It kind of reminds me of an old Jeep. The tires are off of a Chinese knockoff. For those of you who've been following me, know what I'm talking about. This is an actual wood bed. Frame rails is made out of balsa wood. That's a real shovel. Gas can made out of solid wood. Front bumper, I'm still not quite sure what I'm doing here. It needs something. I don't have an idea for it just yet. But anyway, this part here that you see is part of a parts tree. Those of you who have ever built a model know what I'm talking about. The bottom bumper is part of a Nico, or Nico, I think it's called. Anyway, that's a front bumper there, the lower one. The headlight buckets are ready for 5mm LEDs. I did have it ready for 5mm LEDs up top as well, but during the rollover it kind of broke off, as you see there. This vehicle is quite heavy, as you can see by the tire sag. I originally painted the inner fender wells black, but then it didn't look right because we only had this little tiny bit of yellow. And then I decided to paint it yellow, so I didn't dress it up. I didn't take the time to sand everything inside there flat, so it looks kind of wonky or not professional, which is fine. This is my very first time ever making an RC body, especially out of fiberglass or anything else. I've made a drone before, I've made boats before, but I've never made a ground pounding vehicle body before. The front side kind of kills me a little bit because it reminds me of a VW Thing or VW Beetle or Volkswagen Bug, as some of you might call it. These are real chunks of wood that I put back here, pieces of the branches of the tree that have fallen down. I could obviously put more in there. I got bored of cutting the shit up on my chop saw to fit inside that bed, so it is probably about 80% full. Rear taillights are just stickers. They come off of a touring car. I snipped off the ends that showed the detail and to make it flow better. I should have painted in some stuff, but again, this is my first try with a fiberglass stuff, so I just wanted to make sure it was functional before I went into extreme details. Another gas can right here. From one side I detailed, the other side I did not. I think this is the non-detailed side right here. Yeah, it doesn't look like it, but that's made out of solid wood. A shovel, an actual aluminum tip. This is from a barbecue skewer. The bumper that you see there is a factory original Redcatracing short course truck bumper. It's been shortened in width to match the body lines here. It may not look appropriate because it doesn't match the tire out here, but I shortened it to the width of the body here. I thought that was more important than leaving it and bringing it out to the width of the tire. I don't know, to me that just looked better. That'll be your own choice if you decide to do that. The body is not mounted, so that's why it looks like it's crooked. I just got it sitting there. Nothing I do on video is pre-scripted as far as commentary. I don't write anything down. Everything I say just comes to mind as it is. Some of you may like that, some of you may not like that. You know, some people really get into making everything perfect. I don't. I just say it as it is. Again, if you see some stickers on there, I did put a couple of them on there. They, like for example, this is not a Protoform body, right? Some of you know who Protoform is. This is not Protoform. This is handmade fiberglass body. That's quite heavy. So let's see the inside. So here you're looking at basically the inside. The very first modification I made to this truck while it was still brushed in its original form is I made this scaffolding that sticks up right here. And that was to put this ESC and heat sink combination up out of the way so that way it could not get clogged up with mud, dirt, grass, and what have you. That was the very first modification. Oops. And then with the failure of my snap-on cordless drill, I decided, you know what? I think it would be great if I took the transmission out of this and stuffed it in there, which is what you see here. So in low gear, which is 1, which is what you see right there, top speed is about 2 miles an hour. In high gear, top speed is about 5 miles an hour, and all of my testing was done on basically a 2-cell, what you'd call a 2-cell, although I ran a nickel metal hydride battery pack for testing because I wanted the extra weight. The rear differential gear, you may have to get creative as I did to find the correct pitch because this is quite large, right? This takes up a lot of area, so you're going to need a very large motor pinion gear. This is a motor pinion gear actually out of a rear differential from an old rally car that I used to have. Right? And now it needs cleaning, need to get the dirt out of there. But that was the only thing I could find that gave me enough space to clear the center drive shaft and engage the spur gear. So you'll have to get creative on that. Custom motor plate. The motor's mounted to the inside this way with screws, and then it's screwed into the plastic here, which is on this particular drill. It's got kind of a weird twisting lock mechanism. Similar deal on the rear end. After making this plate that wraps around this way, and then down underneath that you cannot see, it is screwed to the chassis in several places. Then it's screwed again here. And if you don't do that, this motor pinion gear can actually wobble back and forth because anything after this area right here pretty much floats, right? Despite there being a bearing inside there. The motor that I originally tested with is the original motor that came out of this cordless drill. I have no idea what size that is, but that is a huge motor. Just for comparison, this brushless motor right here is for a 1/8 scale truggy or something from Redcatracing, and this brushed motor is absolutely huge. Whatever it is, whatever size it is, I don't know, but it's huge. I did use it originally for testing, and I decided I wanted to go brushless because brushless is more efficient at using energy than any kind of brushed system. Although I have a few cars that still use brush motors, you know, they serve their purpose. I did upgrade the servo to a higher servo. The bumper is actually a Nico from a Nico, and you can probably, yeah, there's the letter N there. I just drilled out some extra holes, mounted some there. So you can make anything you want to, right? The whole point of this video is you can make anything you want to. Again, none of this was pre-planned. It is only because of my cordless drill failure that I made this vehicle. Although I intentionally bought this vehicle to make into a 6x6 by adding another pair of rear drive tires and another battery pack that was going to sit this way and another motor, but it didn't work out that way. So, you know, things just come to you, right? When there's a will, there's a way, there's an idea. Sometimes a light bulb just turns on. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this. Let me know if you have any questions, comments, concerns, whatever else. Please feel free to ask. You know, I'm not judgmental at all. I promise you I'm not.